Well, the main job is to load the furnace, to make sure it's reasonably full. It doesn't have to be totally full all the time, but as long as it's just full that we don't get behind in our production. That's basically it. Shifts, we work 12 hours a day, basically around the clock on a 7-day roster. There's a 3-shift crew and we do roughly about 5 shifts in the week. On day shift we start about 6 o'clock in the morning roughly until about 6 o'clock at night. We have roughly a morning tea which lasts around about 10 minutes, and for lunchtime we have about 20 minutes, half an hour, and then we have an afternoon crib break which is another 10 minutes. If we have time, if we have a sort of a break, we do have broom and that. We make sure the area is clean for the occupational health and safety. When we start the shift, we come up straight away from down below to make and just see if the furnace is full. We prioritise is that the furnace has always got to be full. So even if there's trucks or anything that has to be done beforehand, that the furnace gets loaded up, and then we start doing other things, either unloading trucks, setting up packs, cleaning up, sweeping up, doing whatever we have to do during the day. But of course the furnace is always the priority of anything. Normally day shift, between 6 and 6 in the day shift is very busy because that's when the majority of the trucks are coming in. So it's always very busy on the day shift. It can be very hectic, but the other times are fairly slow, but it can be busy because the furnace is using up 30 tonne an hour. It's important that we have no steel or any foreign object but copper go into the furnace. If steel, tin, aluminium, anything goes into the furnace, it causes a great deal of havoc. The quality of our rod is very poor. In the case of aluminium, the furnace actually blocks up and it becomes like glue, and we can't get the copper out. It could be weeks before we actually clear the thing. So no foreign material in the way of metals is allowed into the furnace. We have a steel cutter which cuts the straps up. We remove it before we put into the furnace. We cut it up and we put it in a scrap bin, and then that gets transferred into another outdoors bin. We definitely have to try to do it before we put it on the platform. Sometimes it's impossible, that with a bit of manoeuvring that we have to put it on half on the platform to get it off, and then we just pull it off with the hand because the other straps is on the tines of the forklift. Basically we might have, there's not a lot of other equipment. It's basically just more manual with the forklift. We find it very easy to operate. It's fairly good vision. It's not the best of everything in the world, but it's fairly good vision. Easy to steer, we have no problems. Sit, nice comfortable sitting. Different stacks are from different customers. We keep them separate basically because we know the quality of each stack of the customer. Certain customers we can trust with their quality, some others we can't trust, so we like to, if we have a problem, we will use the better quality customer than the others, more often than we do the others. So it's more of a, we blend the copper in. We do have the tester down the lab, but we normally have the outside testers already told us what the quality is. We got the needles, which is they come from the tinning factories, that's the leftover products, and we have our own internal scrap from the plant. Another person, not the actual person upstairs here, another person loads the needles in to keep that bin full roughly once a shift. We normally try to keep the furnace full while we're unloading copper on the trucks because the furnace goes down fairly quickly. So we sort of keep the furnace full before we unload the trucks, and then we just unload it and put it in the appropriate stack of the customer that we've unloaded it from. We keep the timber underneath just so it's easier for us to handle, and we try to keep the stacks fairly neat and tidy so we don't make any mistakes, and that's a safety thing too, that when we're in a bit of a hurry that it's easy to pick up and manoeuvre. If the stacks are not neat, it's very difficult to pick up, and there's a possibility that the stack will collapse. It causes a great deal of error. It can be a safety issue if we're trying to fix it and we're off the forklift. When we get too close to the stack could actually fall on us. So we try to keep it as neat as possible. Each pack is very sharp, so you have to have gloves and everything. And it weighs, there's a 3-tier stack. It weighs roughly about 9 tonnes in just one stack. Because we're very high up, we get the southerly breeze here. It gets very cold during the winter time. And the door's always open, so it's very drafty. But closer in near the furnace, it's warm and hot. But where we're outside, it gets very cold when we unload the trucks. On the floor, there's a bit of a ridges, and it helps gets the forklift a bit of traction and everything. And you just got to be careful when you load the platform. That's all. Gloves, we have earpieces, we have the glasses, safety glasses, and safety shoes. And of course, the clothing is normally cotton. You can't have anything near the furnace but cotton. The major hazards would be taking off the straps. They're very sharp. You can cut your hands. The other part is being careful when you lift in and putting the cathode on. It can slide because it's very slippery, so you've got to be careful. And the weight, of course, you make sure that the cathode is well secured, that it doesn't fall onto your feet.